Hi, I'm Katie, and I am a certified personal trainer and fitness professional. And today we're going to be working on mobility for a deeper and more effective squat. The exercises we're going to be doing today will be either 30 seconds or a minute. So the best would be to get a stopwatch, either a watch or on your phone for a 30-second or a 1-minute timer. If you do this on your own, or you can just go ahead and follow along on my video. First off, we're going to be starting with a 1-minute timer with doing some ground to sky squats. Feet are going to go about hip distance apart, wherever it's comfortable for you, wherever your natural squat position would be. And then we're just going to take our hands down and then we're going to reach up. So we're going to bring ourselves down and reach up to the sky. So just bending into the knees, reaching long, keeping that spine nice and long. As you come back, hips go back. As you tip forward, you want to keep that core engaged, keep that belly button pulled in towards your spine. And going at your own pace, go a little slower, a little faster. Again, 1 minute here, warming up that body, moving into our squat and back up. Continuing to breathe. Got about 20 more seconds here. Using that timer just to make sure we keep to our time. You might be able to count, but a lot of times our counting isn't really as long as it should be. So using a timer, I find is best. All right, done with that. And then next up from here, we're going to be stretching that quadricep, 30 seconds on each side, and we'll go through that twice. So if you need help with balance, you can get something that you can hold on to or lean into. You're going to take that right hand, grab that right ankle, and bring that heel up towards your buttocks. As you're here, keeping those knees together, not letting that knee splay out to the side, still standing up nice and tall. A way to progress this would be to take yourself away from whatever you're leaning or holding on to. Another way to progress could be with time. Instead of 30 seconds, you could do 45 seconds or a minute on each side. And then go ahead and release. And then going to the other side. And again, if you need that help with balance, again, it's okay. Just find something, even if you're just holding or partially leaning into it. Get that left hand into ankle into the palm of the hand. If that's not available to you, another idea would be to take a towel, wrap a towel around the ankle. And you can take that towel around the ankle and use that to help bring that heel towards the buttocks. And as you progress, then maybe you'll be able to grab on to that ankle and hold there. Still standing up nice and tall, shoulders stacked over your hips. Keep breathing. A few more seconds. And then again, we're going to go back to the other side. Again, 30 seconds each side. So go ahead and grab right hand, right ankle, pressing into the palm of the hand. Keep those inner thighs sealed together. And again, a progression would be here to find your balance, get yourself to a place where you don't need something for support to hold or lean into. Keep breathing, keep those inner thighs sealed together. Draw that heel in as you feel release. And then go ahead and release that leg. And then we'll go back again one more time to the left side. 30 seconds. Go ahead and grab that ankle. Seal those inner thighs together. Stand up nice and tall. Shoulders stacked over those hips and keep your balance. Keep breathing. And if you're wondering why the stretch the quads, because your quadriceps are attached to your hip flexors, which those hip flexors and the hip mobility has a lot to do with the squat. Perfect. And then releasing here. And again, next up with more stretching for the calf, you can either come against a wall if you want and put your hands at a wall, or if you're standing, you just take a nice big step back with that right foot, 30 seconds again on each side to where that heel goes is pushing down the floor. And when you feel that heel pushing back, you feel a stretch through that calf. And if you don't feel a stretch, the way to get to your maximum length of stretch is if you keep walking that leg out, you'll get to a point where you can't keep that heel on the floor. So that's where you want to get that stretch through that right calf. And you've just got a nice straight long line from the head to the hip to the heel. 30 seconds. And then from here, we're just going to switch to the other side. So just turning and going, or you can just put that other leg back. Again, 30 seconds. here, pushing back through that heel. And again, if you want to see if you're all the way back far enough, just take that heel just a tiny bit further back. And you should feel that stretch through that calf. And also, why are we stretching the calves for squats? Because what people don't realize is a lot of times that your squat depth is limited by ankle flexibility. Ever seen people squat and those heels are raising off the floor? Switch sides, 30 seconds on the other side again. And that is because that calf muscle is attached at the back of the leg. And next up, when we do our soleus is directly attached to your Achilles tendon. If those calves and those soleus and gastrocnemius are tight, they will definitely limit that range of motion in the ankle. And when you go into a squat, that's going to limit your range of motion in a squat also. Perfect. That was your 30 seconds. And then we're just going to turn and go and do the left side one last time. So again, a way to progress here, holding your stretch for a little longer. Take your leg back a little further, stretch through that back calf. Just holding yourself here, pushing that heel back, feeling that stretch. Mostly in a lot of the upper part of your calf is where your gastrocnemius is. Next, as we get into our soleus, it's a little bit lower. Feeling the stretch in a little bit different place. So with our soleus, you're gonna take like one step. You're gonna put that foot, that 1 foot length just behind the other. You're gonna step back with that right foot, and you're just gonna bend into that right knee. So as you bend it back into that back knee, so the weight's gonna be really pretty much off the front leg. You're just gonna bend into that back knee and feel that stretch through the soleus, which is a part of the calf muscle. It's a little bit further down, a little bit deeper, and attaches directly to that Achilles tendon. Soleus is definitely a muscle that is overlooked, understretched, and if it gets irritated, can be a big pain and a big source of limitations for people. And then the other side, and you don't have to turn around. I'm just turning around so you can keep an eye on where I am, but you can always just step back with the other leg and not make that turn. So again, just bending into that back knee, bending down. And then if you feel some release, maybe sink a little deeper. Sinking a little deeper into that stretching, and the body weight is back on that back leg. All right, and then one more time each side. And again, with these exercises, you can either take these set of exercises and do them on your own and keep your own stopwatch, or you can just keep coming back to this video to do these exercises along with me. And I recommend doing them 3 to 4 times a week if you want to get more mobility to get into a deeper squat. And then one more time to the other side. Perfect, holding it here. And then next up, we're gonna make our way down to the ground. We're gonna get seated, get a little bit more into the hips, which those hip flexors, loosening those up even a little bit more from here. All right. So next up, we're gonna be sitting down. So just make sure you have somewhere to sit. I'm gonna adjust my camera just a little bit so you can see me a little better. And then our next exercise we're going to be doing for 1 minute. So you're going to come to a seated position with those legs out in front, a nice wide right leg. You're going to have the hands down for support, and you're just going to internally rotate one knee, bring it up, and then internally rotate the other knee. When we were standing, we did an external rotation. Here's an internal rotation. What you want to make sure that you're doing here is you're internally dropping that knee. You want to make sure that you're not taking those hips and rocking off of your buttocks. You want to keep both butt cheeks firmly on the ground and lower that knee and keep both hip bones squared and pointed forward. If you want to think about your hips as headlights, those 2 headlights are pointed forward at all times. And it's just that knee that is internally rotating down. And again, here for a minute. And as you gain more flexibility in the hips, you'll see that knee can go further down. If you have really extremely good flexibility in those hip flexors, you might be able to get that knee all the way down to the ground. That's the goal. Knee eventually to the ground. All right. All right. And then from here, we're going to be going into another hip stretch, hip flexor stretch. It's going to be a forward fold and 90-degree angle. It's a modified pigeon. So you're going to take that front knee at a 90-degree angle and that back knee at a 90-degree angle. And this will be 30 seconds on each side. So we're just going to then fold ourselves forward, hinging forward from the hip and taking that stretch as you come forward. Depending on your hip flexors, you might actually feel a stretch in the front hip as well as the back hip. It just depends on how tight and or limber that those hip flexors are. You're just going to fold yourself forward and you're just going to hold here. And as you come forward, I'm not trying to bring that chest to the leg by rounding the back. We're keeping a nice flat back and we're just bringing ourselves forward. Keep breathing. And then we're going to switch to the other side. Easiest way to get to the other side from here is just to swing yourself around, but do it again however you wish. Again, in about 90 degrees, each leg, front and back, and then just bring yourself and fold forward. Coming into that fold. And like I said, depending on which your hip flexors, how tight they are, flexible they are, you might feel this in one or both legs. I have felt this in my left side on both sides. I felt it on the left when it was behind me, and I'm feeling it on the left when it's in front of me. Just depends. And it might also depend on the day. One day is definitely going to feel different than the other. Hold here. And then again, switching back to the other side. So again, just flip yourself around, or if you however you want to get to the other side. And then when you're ready, just fold forward. Holding here. And as you bring your fold, keep your head forward. I'm just looking so I can say hi to you and don't feel like I'm ignoring you. Hold, breathe, keep breathing. And as you feel release, then try and go a little deeper. If you don't feel release, and especially if you feel a lot of feedback, then maybe it's time to pull out a little bit. You can always do that and then progress and go a little deeper. And one last time, over to the other side, flipping around, and a progression here again to bring yourself to a longer time frame. Also, another progression here would be to have the back leg extended into a pigeon pose. But for now, we're going to keep both knees bent at about a 90-degree angle. And breathe. Perfect. A few more seconds right here. All right. And then from here, we're going to come into just a hamstring stretch, just a double leg hamstring stretch. So we're going to extend both legs out in front of you, a minute here. And then from here, you're just going to tip forward from the hips with a nice flat back. You're going to bring yourself towards those legs. And as I say, with a flat back, instead of trying to bring that chest towards the legs and rounding the back, you want to keep the back nice and flat and bring yourself forward. So holding it here, stretching the back of the legs and why the hamstrings. All of this is connected, as you've seen. We didn't just work on those hips and those hip flexors, but the hamstrings are attached to the glutes attached to the hip flexors and wrap around. So the tightness in one area might not seem like it is attached to a squat, but it all is related. Everything is related. So why not stretch those hamstrings, not ignoring them, just stretching the back of the legs. So you're feeling it through the way through the back of the legs. And just breathe. Perfect. And then one more thing, we're going to be coming into a frog rock for a minute. So from here, you're going to come onto your knees, but you're going to take your knees wide. You're going to have to figure out where your width is. This is going to be for a minute, because then you're going to come down onto your forearms, and then you're just going to rock yourself forward and back. Now, if this is too intense, bring the knees a little closer together. If you don't feel that stretch, slide those knees out a little bit more. And again, you're just rocking your body forward and rocking yourself back. So again, the knees at your width, whatever's good for you on those forearms, and we're just rocking, putting those hips forward and back, And this is a pretty intense stretch for those hip flexors. And by now, with all of our exercises we've done, should be about ready for it. You can even come into a rock forward and hold. And again, another progression, do this a little longer. Instead of a minute, do it for a minute and a half. And then maybe take a hold and hold that there. Again, whatever feels good, whatever works best for you and your body. And that's it from here. So hopefully after doing these exercises again 3 to 4 times a week and moving through this for a time period, you'll be able to get into a more effective and a deeper squat with time. If you have any questions, again, my name is Katie. You can hit me up here at my YouTube channel, or you can send me an email at coachkatiew@me.com. That's COACHKATIEW@me.com. Thanks so much. Have a great day.